Tzu Chi volunteers help disaster victims in Marikina City after serious flooding forces many residents to evacuate. In Taiwan, we celebrate Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital's 30th anniversary by taking a look at how the medical mission has advanced. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Duncan DeAeth, and thank you for joining us. Beginning on August 5th, San Mateo Township and Marikina City in Manila of the Philippines were ravaged by torrential rain, which resulted in severe flooding in many low-lying areas and caused some 5,000 residents to evacuate. After hearing the news, Tzu Chi volunteers headed to temporary shelters distributing aid supplies. Local volunteers, as well as affected residents, joined in the aid distribution.
Manila City of the Philippines has been ravaged by torrential rain, which has resulted in severe flooding in several low-lying areas and forced some 5,000 residents in San Mateo Township and Marikina City to evacuate.
I am so scared because this happens every year.
Madali din po kasi may trauma na po.
May trauma na. Tapos, sobrang mabilis ba yung pagtaas ng tubig?
Opo.
The temporary shelter is crowded and hot. Many of the disaster survivors were evacuated without carrying anything with them. Therefore, Tzu Chi volunteers prepared more than 2,000 bags of daily supplies, 2,000 packets of cloths, 4,000 packs of bread, as well as 1,000 straw mats that are much needed.
The cardboard was prepared for the affected residents to sleep on the floor overnight. However, it's difficult for us to transfer the cardboard yesterday. I think it's better to transfer straw mats from the Tzu Chi grounds for them, rather than give them the cardboard.
Tzu Chi volunteers took 3 separate routes and brought a car of aid supplies to 5 temporary shelters.
The houses of these volunteers are also flooded by the heavy rain. They make it a priority to come here helping rather than stay with their families. Everyone wave at them.
Ilan po kayo? Apat.
Local volunteers in the temporary shelter are great assistants. They grab their volunteer uniforms as they escape from the affected areas, so they could be ready to carry out disaster relief work anytime.
Bigay ka ng tulong.
I feel happy because Tzu Chi Foundation has given us the opportunity to help others. Sometimes I think I'm a man of great abilities because I am able to help the needy. However, all of the aid supplies all come from Tzu Chi.
Karoon sila ng damit, pagkain.
As the Manila Weather Bureau forecasts that the heavy rain will continue to affect the city, Tzu Chi volunteers will keep caring for these affected residents.
On the evening of August 14th on Taiwan Provincial Highway 9, a minivan overturned, resulting in 4 deaths and 3 injuries. After the accidents, the injured were rushed to Luodong DaAi Hospital and St. Mary's Hospital. Tzu Chi volunteers rushed to the hospital to aid the victim's family, with a group going to visit the family of the deceased as well.
This minivan overturned in the ditch with a large number of police and fire rescue personnel rushing to aid the wounded. This accident occurred in the evening on August 14th on Taiwan Provincial Highway 9. The driver's wife, wife's cousin, and friend surnamed Zhang and her son, a total of 4 people, were all instantly killed. The driver surnamed Lin and his son and daughter were sent to Luodong DaAi Hospital and St. Mary's Hospital. Tzu Chi volunteers rushed to the hospital to provide assistance.
We sent condolence money to the family of the driver and we're currently at DaAi Hospital, waiting to learn more about the condition of the driver surnamed Lin.
Other Tzu Chi volunteers went to visit the family of the deceased man surnamed Ye. His mother was in tears, saying the family had planned to reunite for a birthday celebration, as news of this tragic car accident was too much to bear.
I waited until after 6 o'clock and he hadn't come back as I didn't know that an accident had occurred. Someone called me and I rushed to the hospital to take a look, and it turned out to be true.
His mother has some regrets as the next day was to be his birthday and he passed away. She's also concerned about the family's finances because the deceased was the major breadwinner for the family. We promised her that we would follow up and care for her in the future.
Tzu Chi volunteers also made contact with the family of a woman surnamed Zhang and her son who passed away in the accident, assuring them Tzu Chi would provide whatever help and assistance that is possible.
Tzu Chi's medical mission is celebrating its 30th anniversary. In 1972, Tzu Chi's free clinic for the poor was founded, helping those in Hualien and Taiwan. But for serious issues, patients still had to travel to distant hospitals. Master Zheng Yan vowed to build a general hospital in the area. After 2 groundbreaking ceremonies, the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital was finally completed in 1986. Early recruitment of doctors proved difficult, with Dr. Chen Yinghe and Dr. Kuo Han-chong forming the cornerstone of the hospital's professional medical team. And for the next 3 decades, they would lead the hospital in its mission.
This high-tech, minimally invasive surgery accurately decreases the depth of lesions and is quite fast. Considering the value of life, the world's most advanced Western medical technology is now being available in areas that were once remote.
As long as there are patients and as long as there's demand for our services, we hope to find a way to reach this goal. This was the basic concern for Master Zheng Yan to establish Tzu Chi's medical mission.
Beginning in 1966, the Tzu Chi Foundation was founded and began carrying out visits to the poor. It witnessed a lack of medical resources in eastern Taiwan, which contributed to a vicious cycle of poverty and disease. In 1972, Tzu Chi set up its free clinic for the poor.
We treated long-term illnesses as well as minor illnesses, everything from beginning to end, treating everyone just like family. Through good arrangements, everyone can see a doctor.
While minor ailments could be easily healed, acute and severe cases had to be transferred elsewhere, though precious time to save the patient would also pass. This led Master Zheng Yan to vow to build a hospital in Hualien. However, up to 800 million NT dollars would be needed for the building budget. Securing the land would also be a major undertaking with a number of twists and turns.
我什么都没有，我只有呢以信使成正，还有命一条。我信我自己无私，我相信人人有爱心。凭这样的信心，所以呢，我要把医院盖起来。
This seemingly distant and far-off wish was blessed by good spirit.
我就是为家做起啦。
An illiterate fruit seller turned out to be an extraordinary woman, working as a part-time sanitation worker and sleeping less than 2 hours a day. She swept the Huazhong Bridge and donated her entire salary of 3 to 4 years to the hospital.
If I just eat a little and sleep less, I can make more money. The master wants others to help build this hospital, and I will work hard to earn money to save others.
The hospital was eventually completed on August 17, 1986. Recruiting doctors would be hard. One doctor who recently completed his orthopedic training at National Taiwan University Hospital, Chen Yinghe, became the first full-time specialist at the hospital.
I hope that in the future, I'm able to come and solve all of my patients' problems. This is the goal that we should move towards.
应该是到目前还是一直朝这个方向来前进。
Urologist Kuo Han-chong came in 1988, came to Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital. After coming, he had no plans of leaving, and he became one of the world's top researchers with a mission to develop and pass on new technology.
Research, medical care, and teaching can all be done within this hospital, as it is a very worthwhile working environment for me.
Good doctors established a good model for the hospital, making it easier to recruit others as the medical team grew stronger and stronger. In 2002, the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital was upgraded to a medical center, and Tzu Chi Hospital soon spread from Hualien to Yuli, Guanshan, Dalian, Taichung, and Taipei. Expansion has even taken place in China's Suzhou, as a vast medical network can save lives in a matter of minutes.
全人医疗，尊重生命。
Providing health services to all and respecting life at these medical centers is a concept that we want to spread to the whole world.
全世界
Saving lives is only made possible by the hard work of others, as it's a joint effort to bring everyone together for this common good.
Recently, a sad accident happened in Taoyuan, Taiwan. A man asked his wife of over 50 years to end his life because he was suffering from disease and dementia. The story shows how when a family member suffers from dementia, it can cause serious psychological and physical stress for the family or caretaker. The caretaker must find time to release their stress and may need outside counsel.
Fan Meizhu and her husband have been married for decades. But nobody knows that her 73-year-old husband has been suffering from dementia for 11 years, and his wife has been looking after him alone. However, the stress of taking care of him was once too much for her to bear.
Because I couldn't express my pain to anyone, and our kids live out of town, I could only cry alone in the bedroom. Sometimes I would look at him and wonder how long this had to go on.
In the case of one spouse taking care of another, it's best to have help from society, such as daycare centers or home services, so the caretakers can have a chance to rest.
After getting help, the grandmother has found a balance in her life. The estimate of the TADA shows that many caretakers of the dementia patients once suffer from negative thinking or even depression.
There is much help around. The caretakers must give themselves some resting time.
I learned a lot of things by looking after him. I feel I'm lucky. In the end, I'm grateful to him.
Grandma Meizhu said that looking after dementia patients can become very stressful. She hopes that public won't discriminate against dementia patients, and the government can realize the laws on respite care and provide daycare services, so this family can receive the best help from government.
When 10-year-old Wu Zhihao was born prematurely at 25 weeks, he began to suffer many illnesses, bleeding in his lungs and brain, hydrocephalus, meningitis, and epilepsy. His parents even set up a special intensive care room at home for him. Another child, 13-year-old Lin Qi-chen, began suffering from kidney failure when he was only 1 year and 3 months old. He had to be rushed to the hospital 30 times. Zhou Daguan Cultural and Educational Foundation awarded these young children for their bravery in the face of their challenges.
He is Lin Qi-chen. When he was only 15 months old, he suffered from kidney failure, and he has been on dialysis for over 10 years. He even contracted the flu twice, and it was ECMO that brought him back to life.
I did think about letting him go, but I also had promised him. He told me that when I am old, he will take care of me.
Wu Zhihao also promised his mother that he would do his best to live. He was born 25 weeks prematurely, and when he was born, he suffered many kinds of diseases, including epilepsy. For over a decade, the breathing apparatus has always been attached to him.
Our biggest wish is that we hope he won't suffer too much. It doesn't matter how long he can hang in there.
If he lives, he has hope. The two boys are fighting against their diseases, and they receive monetary awards from Zhou Daguan Cultural and Educational Foundation. They still have a long future before them. We believe that their zeal for life will bring them miracles.
The human appetite for meat results in the killing of over 67 trillion animals a year across the globe. Many animals never leave their cages, and many humans never even consider the conditions these animals must suffer. Next, we'll look at how animals suffer their entire lives just to be consumed by humans, and we'll consider how a vegetarian diet can help us protect life. We should really do good actions in consideration of our next life. We should look after and care for animals and do what we can to protect them.
The rate at which mankind consumes meat requires the death of over 185 million lives every day. That makes the global average of nearly 2,000 animals being killed every second of every day. Humans kill more than 67 trillion animals every year, which is almost 9 times the entire human population.
In the future, I will teach my children that all animals are living things and that we shouldn't hurt them.
We've discovered that in textbooks, generally they only teach about respecting human life. There is still a long way to go to improve teaching kids to respect the environment or animals. People will care for cats and dogs and give them love, but we think this is not enough.
我们觉得这也是不够的。像 A4 纸这么大小的。
On chicken farms, the birds only have a cage the size of an A4 piece of paper. They may spend over a year and a half in the same space just laying eggs with no space to move around and no chance to be in nature.
People raise chickens from the perspective of people. They don't consider the perspective of the birds. Birds are the same as people. They still need water, space, and sunshine. People tend to just lock them up from the moment of birth, and many of them never even see sunshine. I kneel down to feed them because I want to be on their level. I don't want them to see me as some towering giant. That would scare them. Generally, I also talk to them before I gather the eggs, and then also afterward. I say thank you.
As human society has developed, the spread of urban centers has relegated many animals to the margins. Human consumption and conveniences has resulted in the loss of freedom for many animal populations.
Farm animals want the open space that nature provides, the same for animals in a zoo. Limiting their activities and ability to move around is no different than imprisonment. Most human prisons provide about the same amenities as your average zoo.
When humans and animals use the same spaces together, there is a sense of relative equality. We shouldn't designate one area for animals, like yards or cages. We need to respect all life.
Animals are living beings and deserve to have the liberty and the right to live. Only when people realize that can the suffering of so many animals begin to be eased.
In Nibong Tebal, Malaysia, we'll meet a young vegetarian child who was motivated to stop eating meat after the Passport to Vegetarian Land campaign at a Tzu Chi kindergarten. Young Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital used to be a picky eater, but now that she's eating vegetarian, her appetite is improving. These young students are visiting the grocery store today as part of the Nibong Tebal Tzu Chi Kindergarten's vegetarian cooking class. These students are using the ingredients they bought to make sushi, but not with any seafood. After the Passport to Vegetarian Land campaign at her kindergarten, young Tzu Yao goes directly to her nanny to inform her of her decision.
She didn't used to like eating vegetables. She only ate one kind, just cabbage.
Tzu Yao used to be a picky eater, but thanks to the Passport to Vegetarian Land campaign, she has gradually adjusted to eating more vegetables. Now she wants to show everyone her badge.
She says that she doesn't want to eat meat or hurt animals anymore. She says she wants to eat vegetables and she likes them. She always says her favorite is cucumber.
Encouraging vegetarianism is inspiring compassion for life among these youngsters, and they will be an excellent example to others as they grow. Many people believe that it's unlucky to have surgery during the 7th lunar month, as it's also referred to as Ghost Month. Chen So-Xian, superintendent of Taiwan Tzu Chi Hospital, said that this is a wrong belief and can make illnesses worse due to delayed treatment. Elsewhere, Tzu Chi volunteers are holding blessing ceremonies and encouraging vegetarianism during the 7th lunar month.
blessing ceremony for the 7th lunar month in Beitun, Taichung starts with a performance. Jian Shouqing, Superintendent of Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital, also came to tell the audience the benefits of being a vegetarian.
Now we are in the era of too much nutrients. How can we avoid eating too much or the wrong nutrients? Becoming a vegetarian is a good choice.
One superstition believes that one shouldn't have surgery during the 7th lunar month, but the fact is one shouldn't delay the treatment no matter what. The volunteers use a stage performance in Nantun, Taichung to tell the audience not to kill innocent animals to satisfy their desire for meat.
We came to invite the people to join Tzu Chi.
In Lugang, Tzu Chi volunteers prepare healthy vegetarian food and share it with the locals. The elderly enjoy the food a lot. Being vegetarian is good for the health and can also reduce carbon emission and is good for the earth.
In Taiwan, a 90-year-old senior from the Wanlan tribe of the Hualien Township in Hualien lives with her children and grandson. Their house was filled with dirty waste and clutter due to neglect. Fortunately, Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized to help them clean the house and restore a more comfortable living environment after being notified by the village head, Mr. Tien. Let's take a look.
Lots of waste and clutter are piled outside the house. Dirty and smelly water is also backing up in the drains. This is where 90-year-old senior Mrs. Lin lives with her family.
We hope Mrs. Lin's grandson can help clean up the environment and keep it sanitary. This way his grandmother will be healthy and not get sick easily.
Notified by the village head of Wenlan tribe, Tzu Chi mobilizes nearly 40 volunteers to clean up dirty waste and remove clutter from the house. Everyone collaborates to restore this house to a more comfortable living environment with tools such as brooms, rakes, and paintbrushes.
We helped them clean up the house many years ago, but they were still unable to maintain a clean environment. We hope to encourage this family to do the cleanup together.
Apart from the cleanup of the house, an excavator was also mobilized to help clear drainage pipes. Tzu Chi volunteers also invited the senior's grandson to help the cleanup.
师哥师婆来家里帮我们打扫。你自己也有参与嘛，对不对？对啊。哦。很开心。
After the cleanup, the house has been renewed to a cleaner and brighter environment. Also, with Tzu Chi volunteers' hard work and dedication, the Lin family can now move forward to a better tomorrow.
In Toronto, Canada, the Tzu Chi Liaison Office recently hosted a summer camp for children to teach them lessons about humanitarianism. We'll leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for joining us and see you next time.